Here is an interesting question. Let's just assume that many of us talk about dyslexia as a neurological difference and a processing difference, a neurological cognitive processing difference. Well, okay, we can say I understand dyslexia as a neurological processing difference. But beneath that, there's all sorts of questions that we need to ask. So for instance, do we mean that dyslexia causes a neurological difference? Do we mean that a neurological difference causes dyslexia? Do we mean that dyslexia is the description of the neurological difference? Or indeed, do we mean something else entirely? This isn't just an abstract sort of philosophical question. It actually cuts to the very heart of what we mean when we talk about dyslexia. Because if some people say that dyslexia is the description of a neurological difference, and other people say dyslexia is the outcome of a neurological difference, then we're not talking about the same thing. Quite recently, there was an article that appeared in The Guardian. These articles come up again and again and again, saying, oh, there's no such thing as dyslexia. Dyslexia is a myth. And one of the reasons it can argue that is that so many people talk about dyslexia in different ways, completely different ways. I mentioned, for instance, often in Germany, in some states of Germany, Bavaria, for instance, it's looked upon as an incurable illness. In other parts, it's not. In some countries of the European Union, it's looked upon as a medical condition. In other countries, it's not. Some places look upon it simply as a phonological processing deficit. Other places don't always look at it like that. So when we talk about dyslexia, we have to understand that I don't necessarily know what somebody else means when I'm talking to her about dyslexia. So if she's talking about dyslexia and I'm talking about dyslexia, instead of assuming that we all talk about the same thing in the same way, we need to ask, we need to understand what other people mean, what other people are thinking. Because if one person thinks it's a cause, another person thinks it's a description, another person thinks it's an outcome, well, we're never talking about the same thing in that case.